So that means you have to outperform 95% of the people out there. Is that something you're willing to do?
Yes. I just need to get there. Yeah.
But you don't just need to get there. You need to train Jacob to show up when he doesn't feel like it.
Hello and welcome to my podcast, Show Up. My name is Daryl Dittmer. As someone who built financial freedom from scratch, I understand what's possible, as there was a time when I thought I had only a life of mediocrity ahead of me. Drinking, drugs, and zero confidence plagued me. The one thing that changed my life is when I decided to do things differently and give success a chance. And I don't just mean financial success, I mean life success. I started to show up to my life and my career, and one step after another provided me the life I never thought possible. At any age, life begins to change when you start to show up. Welcome to my podcast.
All right, Jacob, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I come from the Midwest in the U.S., and I come from a place where we didn't have much money, and I was taught that I needed to have a work ethic when I was a kid, which was a great thing, and it taught me a lot. But I got into sales almost by accident, and to make a long story short, through a lot of trial and error and tribulation and difficulty, I helped turn a very small company into a very big company. And I was the number one sales guy, became the number one sales guy in that company, and we sold it, and it worked out very, very well financially. And I don't say that to pump myself up. I just say that so that you understand that, you know what, you can do it. You can absolutely be successful in sales, and I believe anybody can. So, and I want you to be successful. Like that's my number one thing at this moment is I want Jacob to be successful. So tell me a little bit about your story. Tell me about 2MM, your role, what you're doing.
So in 2 Market Media, I'm basically a scout / business development manager. I go out, look out for my own people. I prospect. I try to bring people in. I send them out. I send out outreach campaigns, email campaigns. And then after that, I try to get them on a call, trying to show them the value of 2 Market Media, what we offer, and hopefully bring people to our company.
So how long you been doing it?
Almost a year now.
Okay. And how old are you?
I'm 20. I'm 28 actually. Damn.
Cool. Thank you for that. So how do you do all your prospecting yourself, or do you get leads?
No, I actually do my own prospecting. I do them on podcasts. That's where you can actually hear people's thoughts and the way they think. And then I try to reach them out. I try to reach out via email. So yeah, I do my own prospecting.
Cool. Well, that's a big part of the gig, and probably the most important part. What I found is the most important part of sales. Have you found that as well?
Yeah, true. It really depends on you, honestly. I could have a very tough week prospecting, and my numbers get low. Everything kind of just messes up. But if you do your job when you prospect, and if you actually focus on the quality of the prospects, then your number is different. Your sales are different. So yeah, that's the most important part. 100% agree.
So what's your why? Why did you get into sales? What's your big why? What do you want to accomplish?
Honestly, mine is an accident as well. So I there's this company that I used to work in. I actually graduated from Bachelor of Science in Computer Science with a bachelor's degree. And I just wanted to be a web developer, but to get into this company, I had to actually get into the inside and move up. The only open position was the CSR back then. So I got into that. While I was waiting, trying to get a tech job, I just ended up going through the whole ladder and getting up until SDR, and up after that, SDR was way better. You make more money. It's much challenging. So I just kind of stuck with it. My whole 4 years of computer science degree just out the window because of sales. So that's why I love sales. That's why it just naturally happened to me.
That's great. That's great. I have a criminal justice degree, so
Okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
didn't do anything with that, which is fine because it worked out extremely well. So in terms of your why did you get involved in sales? Like, what's your goal? Do you want to retire at 30? Do you know, what's your thing? When you look down the road, what do you see for Jacob?
In my a few years of sales career, I've actually talked to people that I never would have talked to in any other gig. At first, it just came out to be me trying to do my job and get more money. And sales is the place to be if you just want money, right? And through that, I slowly started realizing that this is where I actually started progressing. This is where I actually liked being in here, because I learned way too much in sales that I would have learned nowhere else. So I was in the real estate company, in the real estate gig where I was trying to sell houses and get commissions. I was in tech. I was in short-term rentals. So within the span of 1 year, I touched so many bases that this just showed me that this is the place to go. And as far as the future, honestly, I'm just trying to see as it holds. So I'm just winging it right now.
So when you think about, Jacob at 40 or Jacob at 50 years old, how do you want to set yourself up financially?
I've never thought about that, honestly. But honestly, I do not want to work past 30, 35. I know I'm way too close to that number, but honestly, if there had to be one way to actually retire quick, it would be sales. That's why I'm here. That's the long run, honestly, for me.
So what do you have to accomplish to do that? If you're looking to not work after 30 or 35, you got some work to do.
You have no idea. When I mentioned that number, it kind of hit me. But yeah, honestly, I'm not at the place where I want to be, because at this state and age, I guess, I've worked in sales for like 2 years now, and I'm nowhere where I need to be to actually get to that goal of like having that kind of revenue come in where I can actually retire quick. So honestly, that's why I'm here. I have no idea, because where I'm trying to be and where I'm at now are two different places. So that's the part I'm having trouble with.
So that's the part that drives you, right? I mean, that
Yes.
part of you that wants to be somewhere else. I'll tell you what my why was, and this was in my 20s. This was in my mid 20s. I don't know why I was thinking like this, but I was. I did not want to, because I had seen loved ones of mine, die in nursing homes and hospitals and, difficult places, because they couldn't afford to do anything else. And I did not want that to be my fate. And that's what drove me at 25 years old, and drove me until the point where I didn't need to chase money anymore. Do you envision something like that for you? Is that something that, is there a big why out there that Jacob decides to do all the work that he has to do, that Jacob decides that he's going to not take no for an answer, that Jacob decides he's going to be successful no matter what? What is that for you?
So let me give you an example. I was doing very good at here, right? The fact that so I have a girlfriend of like 7 years. So I wanted to get engaged. The ring was crazy expensive, right? My boss actually pushed me, saying, this is what you need to do, A, B, and C, to actually get there so you can propose quicker, right? And I've never performed like that in my entire life to get to that number, because that actually drove me for 3 months to actually perform better. And I actually got those closes, and I actually made that commission, and I'm about to propose in like 2 weeks. So in the long run, that's the short term. But in the long run, yes, I have to actually live for my family, for my mom, who's been here supporting herself. And I have to live for me and for my girlfriend as well. So yes, in the long run, I do not want to work up until like 45 or whatever, supporting my family with the bare minimum. So that's generally my big why. Honestly, I have to live for other people, not only for myself.
So what are you good at in sales? What are you good at with 2MM?
I'm just as good as the next guy on everything else, but building rapport, like actually being easy to talk to, I think that's my biggest attribute. Everything else, I'm just as good as the next person, but I can easily connect to people one-on-one.
What are you not good at?
Battery. So
At what?
battery. So my battery runs out pretty quick. If I grind so hard for 2 weeks, the next week I'm going to be the lowest person you've ever met. So that my stamina is very low. I don't have because I'm a nice person. So for example, for 1 week, if I had like 100 no's, 100 rejections, that actually gets to me. And I know that's not the gig, but stamina and mental stamina, that's not my greatest attribute.
So how do you change that? Tell me how you're going to change that.
Honestly, it's more psychological. So what everyone keeps telling me is that it's really a numbers game and it's a psychology game. There are a million reasons that people can say no to you. So you can't just take it personally. So you need to take it on the chin and just move on to the next person. So it's really a numbers game, but it's still tough taking that and actually being that way mentally. So that's what I'm trying to work on. And it's just drilling that idea in my head day in, day out. That's what I'm trying to do, honestly.
So it's you showing up for Jacob.
Basically.
That's ultimately what you're doing. And it sounds like in some cases it's what you're not doing. You're not showing up for Jacob.
How so?
Because you get tired. You're 28 years old. There is no need for you to get tired, man.
True.
You're 28 years old. Seriously, man. And so to me, that is you not being fully committed to what you're doing.
My drive is not bigger than my emotions or myself. Yes.
And you can't be successful that way. Do we agree on that? You cannot be successful
100%.
That way.
100%.
So here's what I believe in sales, and I've seen this happen a million times. And I want you to take this in. So if you want to be a high performer and you want to perform better, because 1 to 5% of people make the most money, right? So that means you have to outperform 95% of the people out there. Is that something you're willing to do?
Yes. I just need to get there. Yeah.
But you don't just need to get there. You need to train Jacob to show up when he doesn't feel like it.
When I'm tired.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what sales is. Sales is showing up when you don't feel like it.
That makes.
Go ahead.
No, that makes total sense because so I have a different mindset in the gym. Like even if I'm tired, I go there. But here it's mentally draining, so that absolutely applies. So, but
yeah, mentally draining doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean anything. I have been, and like I said, I didn't grow up with money, so I wanted to see what it was going to be like to have some money, and it didn't matter what was in my way. It didn't matter what was in my way. Are you capable of it not mattering what's in Jacob's way?
Yes.
Because that's what needs to change. So what is the most money with 2MM that you could make, say, in a month, in 30 days?
If I really grinded it out, I can go for $10,000.
$10,000 in a month?
Yeah,
Would that change your life?
100%.
What's the most you've made in a month?
$3,000.
Why aren't you making 10?
It's just those numbers, man.
It's not just those numbers, it's just Jacob.
Yeah, well, yeah, underlying, yes, that's me.
So you have to decide, is this for me? Because there's one thing in life that you cannot, I'm going to say fuck around with. It's time. Because you're going to be 40 before you know it. Right?
I'm 30 before I knew it, yeah.
You're going to be 40 before you know it. And I don't want to be having this conversation with you when you're 40. I want to be having the conversation with you, and you don't want to be having it with me.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
you don't want to be having a conversation with anybody about anything other than, damn, I'm glad I really got going at 28. Right?
Yeah, 100%, man.
You don't.
That's so sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, that's a weird punch because I just realized I thought I was just going to be in my 20s for a long time, and kind of hit me like how much I have to do because 40 is really around the corner. Like for me, I'm way too close, and that's a weird punch to the gut.
But see, that becomes your why. That is what becomes your why. Jacob needs to get to, starting now, Jacob needs to get to a place at 40 that Jacob is happy with and Jacob feels good about. And Jacob can decide, because I went through the same stuff, man. I went through the same stuff. Like, man, this is tough. Man, this sucks. And I kept hearing, well, Daryl, whoever gets the most no's wins. And it shifted my perspective on those no's. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Because who gets the most no's also gets the most what?
Yes.
Exactly. So what do you think you need to do moving forward? What is it that Jacob needs to do moving forward? If your best numbers and the best Jacob had got Jacob $3,000 in that month, can you do 3 times that work to make 10,000 a month?
I can because I have to.
Right. That's the answer, man.
I have to.
You can't leave yourself with a choice of whether or not you're going to, right?
Yes.
It's not whether or not I'm going to, it's I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm going to show up no matter what.
I have no choice.
But you need to get that like right here, man, and in the middle of you, because I know there are times that you wake up in the morning and you're like, I don't want to do this. This sucks. I don't want to hear any more no's, right?
Yeah. Every 2 weeks I do that.
What's it going to take for you to plow through that time?
What do you
When
mean?
you don't feel like it?
You mean like what does it take me to actually get over that hump?
What's it going to take for you to show up as the guy every 2 weeks that you don't feel like it? What does Jacob need to do to make that happen?
I need to see if I actually bear results. I just need to show up. I need to actually sink that idea in. That's the biggest problem I'm having right now. So that idea needs to sink in that I have to.
Well, you know what? You don't have to.
Yes, I do. What do you mean?
You have a choice of whether or not you're going to do it. Are you going to do it? It's not, you don't have to convince yourself of anything. If your why is big enough, then you're just going to do it. There's no thinking in between you doing it. You just get up and do it.
Yeah.
That's the part that I'm asking you to do.
I can. I just need to show that the drive is bigger than the choice of having to do that or not. Yeah.
I'll tell you, man, the world is littered, and James says some really great things about you. And Steve, they both want you to be very successful. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty cool place to be, to have people supporting you like that.
Yep.
I look at this for you as a great opportunity. I mean, 28 years old, the potential to make 10 grand a month to perform. Think about how your life is going to change a year from now. If you're making 10 grand a month every single month, and if you're doing that, where are you going in the company? You know, you're going to continue to move up. How would that feel?
Feel great. I would feel validated.
How would that change your life?
Enormously, man.
The world is littered with people with potential that haven't done it. I have members of my family the same, and it bothers me. It gets me because I want them I want it for them more than they want it for themselves. But you can't allow other people to want it for you more than Jacob wants it for you. Who is going to be successful for you, Jacob? Anybody?
Nope, just me. Me alone.
So tell me what your next 90 days is going to look like, starting right now, because I want to talk to you at the end of 90 days. What does your 90 days look like in terms of, and I'm going to help you with this, but let's formulate that.
Okay. The biggest hump is maintaining that consecutive number to actually hit my goals. So usually, like I told you, it's like after 3 weeks of rigorous prospecting or rigorous calls, my numbers go down. So the next 90 days would be maintaining that number when that drop hits. So having a consistent number of like, this is the number I need to hit to actually get that type of commissions, to get that kind of closes. So my first and foremost goal would be maintaining number of calls.
So how many calls did you make to make that $3,000 a month?
So it was 5+ a week, maintained it for a whole month, that carried through.
5+ a week. Is that reach outs or is that actual appointments with a phone call?
Appointments with a phone call. If you have 5+ a week, then you can get to that number. Like mathematically, you get to that number if you have 5+ calls a week.
So to make 10 grand a month, how many do you need to do?
I need to do 10 at least.
I'll tell you what you should do. And here's what you do to get to where do you want to be at 40 years old, honestly. You say, okay, I need to do 10. You need to do between 15 and 20 every single week and do it for 90 days. You're 28 years old. You have plenty of energy to do it. Plenty of energy. And here's another thing. So 15 to 20 every single week for 90 days, just make sure it happens. And what I did was I had to cut it up. I'm capable of going 1,000 miles an hour. I am absolutely capable, but that will fry me. So if I do 500 miles an hour consistently instead of 1,000 for 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can dole your energy out, and you got to get a lot of it out, and you got to use it, and you got to move yourself forward. But you shouldn't fry yourself when you're 28, but just think about consistency every single day. Don't put yourself in a position where at the end of a week or the end of a month, you haven't done the work at the beginning of the week or the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
That's the key. Front load it, and just make sure it happens so that you're not putting yourself in a bind and stressing yourself out. And every time somebody tells you no, I want you to remember this. I want you to look in the mirror and say, or every time you get agitated or depressed or bummed out, some will, some won't, so what? Who's next?
I love that.
Some will, some won't, so what? Who's next? Can you do that?
100%. Some will, some won't.
So what?
So what? Who's next? I could do that. Some will, some won't.
So what?
So what? Who's next?
So
some
what?
Will,
Who cares?
Won't. So what? Who cares? Who's next?
Right. And some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? Who cares what the hell they say? Because you know what? I'm a sales guy, and I know you're good at it because I can see it just in your person. Like Jacob is good, and Jacob has a great personality, and Jacob is somebody that people will want to work with. And so all you got to do is take that and apply it, man. 15 to 20 a week, 90 days, crank it out, bust your ass. And you know what? If it means I'm not staying up late at night, so that I'm tired the next day, or I'm changing my diet to do something that's going to make me feel better, whatever that is, you have to do it so that you have the energy to withstand no's.
So it's just doing whatever it takes. So for example, diet. No one thinks to go there. It's just whatever it is. I have to do that.
Whatever is depleting your energy. If you're staying up late at night and you're not getting up till 10 o'clock in the morning, go to bed earlier, get up at 6 and crank it out, man. And and I'll tell you this, and these are a couple just tips, but prospecting, finding out who you want to reach out to, needs to happen on the weekends. During the week, you need to be sending out the emails, talking to the people, booking the appointments. That's what Monday through Friday is for. And the weekends isn't for partying because you want to be at a certain place when you're 40. The weekends is for prospecting, to find out who you're going to speak with starting that Monday. And keep that thing full, man. Keep it full.
No,
can you do that?
100%. See, what you just said, it kind of hit because for me, I don't sacrifice weekends. But if I want to go there at 40, it just hits because what am I sacrificing right now? Nothing. But I have to do that to get there.
You do. I mean, you truly do, because if you're going to outperform 95% of the humans on this planet and make more money than most are making, you're going to be sacrificing things that they're not sacrificing.
My weekends, yes.
I told my boys, and they're around your age, when they were very young, I said, if you want to have a life that's different from other folks, and it doesn't mean better than or anything like that, it just means you're going to have to do different things than they do. And that's it. That's the choice. Do I want success? Does Jacob want success, or does Jacob want to come up with reasons to not be successful?
Can I work on those reasons?
Throw them in the garbage can, man. Excuses, just throw them in the garbage can. Okay. Nobody cares, honestly. But you're going to care at 40.
100%.
What else?
That's pretty much it, because right now I feel so bummed out. I'm so sorry. But I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So you're right.
So what are you going to do this weekend?
I'm a prospect.
And what are you going to do starting Monday morning?
My emails, then have those calls come in. Down
Get
the
them out,
line,
man.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I just said get them out. You got to
Yep.
get them out there. Do more than everybody else.
Right now, everyone's doing 150. I need to do 300.
Are you going to?
100%. Especially if I have my weekends, yes. That's something I'm going to do different.
Tell that part of Jacob that doesn't want to do it. What do you want to say to him?
What do you want to do at 40?
That's it, man. How do you want to wake up feeling at 40? Do you want to wake up feeling at 40 the way you're waking up right now feeling at 28?
Nope.
Because most people end up doing that. So you got to just absolutely decide once and for all that you are not going to do that. And I'm going to set up an appointment to talk to you in 90 days. I'm going to talk to James and Steve because I have faith that you're going to crank this thing out, man.
Thank you, man.
So
That
go
actually
rip
means
it
a
up.
lot. I will.
Any questions for me?
No, but can I reach out to you if I have any?
Absolutely.
I'll do that.
Yeah. You can get my information from James. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
All right. Yeah. Anytime, man. I want you to be successful. So does James. So does Steve. And you have to want it
More than
we want it for you.
Yep.
And I believe you do.
I do. Thanks, man. I really do.
All right, Jacob. Be well, man. I'll talk to you soon.
See you in 90 days.
Thank you for joining us on the Show Up podcast. To learn more about me, my coaching, or my books, please feel free to visit my website, DarylDittmer.com. DarylDittmer.com. Thank you.